Hey, so how's it going, guys? Hello there, motherfuckers. Okie dokie for Big T. So I've done some video game reviews in the past, and like I said, I want to change the level of content on here because I am suppressing the amount of wrestling videos on this channel, so I'm gonna have to start really thinking, coming up with a lot of content. And that's why I've introduced the new edited videos, which some people commented, you know, I thought you didn't edit your videos. Well, things change, and like I said, if I want to start doing other forms of content on here, I've got to start editing these videos. You know, sometimes, like I said, it's not powerful enough. Me sitting there with, you know, just myself in a chair, in my car, wherever I may be shooting the video, it's not always enough to, you know, just simply talk about it. Sometimes I need to show you, and there's going to be editing in this video as well. Anyway, it's time for the Pokemon Retrospective. This was a little bit overdue. I should have done this actually when I finished up the game. The Pokemon Red version that was released on the 3DS. So I got a 3DS a couple of months ago, and I gotta say, I'm like really fucking happy with this thing. I've gotten Super Mario Land 6 golden coins, 6 golden coins for $3.99. That game cost. This is probably, for any gamer on a budget like myself, this is probably your dream system. You know, and if, sadly, there's, you know, what I hate, though, about these handheld systems, ever since they came out with the DS, the touchscreen has made it almost impossible, or at least difficult, for people to be able to play on their TV. That's one thing I wish that we still had. I wish we were able to play on our TV still. Super Game Boy back in the day, the Game Boy player for the GameCube, that was awesome. There was nothing better than, you know, playing the Minish Cap. When I would get out of, you know, my college classes, I'd come home, I'd play the Minish Cap on my Game Boy player, on my GameCube, and now, sadly, there's no attachments available for the Wii or the Wii U. Hopefully the new system will have something, but I kind of doubt it. You know, people get all bent. They're such graphic whores that if the resolution isn't the same thing as it is on the screen, which is impossible, people lose their minds. I'm not so much a graphics whore as people have known from past videos. I go on gameplay alone. But let's start talking about this game. Pokemon Red. So you might be asking, why didn't I get the yellow version? Well, for nostalgia's sake, I didn't want to start off with Pikachu. And yes, I know you could find the 3 starters, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle out in the wild in the yellow version. I kind of felt like going back to basics when I came upon an almost mythical looking game. See, let me explain my Pokemon fascination and craze, how it started for me. So, like most people in 1998, it really wasn't the anime, but it was my subscription to Nintendo Power that really did it for me. I got a tape in the mail, I believe is what it started. They had a Pokemon promotional tape, and most people are aware of this. If you're somebody such as myself that I was born in 1987 and pretty much grew up in the majority of the 90s, that's where my childhood was. And Nintendo Power was a great fucking magazine. We all know this, and if you don't know it, you could watch James Rolfe's retrospective on it on his Cinemassacre channel. The Angry Video Game Nerd did a video on it, a very well put together video, I might add. And Nintendo Power issued out these videotapes, cassettes, VHSs for people that were born in the DVD age. Pop this tape in, and we were exposed to, I don't even really remember what was on the tape. I know it was a lot about the anime explaining the craze. And we were introduced to something that had taken Japan by storm. This fucking crazy-ass game. Well, not too crazy, I won't go that far, but it was a game with a lot of interesting-looking creatures. Little did we know that these would be some of the most identifiable childhood icons ever. The first 150 Pokemon. We were introduced to a lot of different things on that tape. I kind of forgot if they talked more about the anime or the game or whatever it was, but they did a pretty good job explaining what exactly we were in for. And like I said, little did we know how big it was going to become. This shit, in late 98, when I got the game for my birthday in October of 1998, to Christmas 99 and even in the 2000s, fucking Pokemon in the very late 90s, the hype was insane. Every single kid had the fucking game. Every single kid was watching the anime and could tell you what happened the previous day. They were airing that shit 5 days a motherfucking week. The game, it was fucking crazy. This game was all over the place. You couldn't get away from it. There was t-shirts. There was trading cards. There were little figurines. These motherfuckers were everywhere. And, like, parents didn't understand it, but kids loved it. It was, you know, because these creatures were, like, they were so awesome looking, is what it was. And it just had a very, very interesting lore to it. Basically, people call Pokemon trainers, almost said it like a 40-year-old guy growing up at that time, around that time. Like your parents would have said Pokemon trainers, and they'd walk around with Pokeballs, and they would be throwing these balls at fucking creatures. I know it sounded weird. There was a lot of jokes at the time, and that when Pokemon Go came out, there was even more jokes that I even participated in about throwing balls at fucking little creatures. How many times I remarked, "Get in my balls," yeah. But this game that was released, it just sparked a revolution, and it was the most simple game when you think about it. And this is what I saw in my retrospective, coming back to the game after all these years of not playing it for a while. Now, I played the shit out of the red version. And I probably knew the game like the back of my hand. And I remembered just about everything. I remembered where everything was. There was really no mysteries. It's when you play a game so much. Sometimes, you know, if you play a game once and come back to it 10 years later, you're probably going to forget a few things. This game, I pretty much remembered everything. It's just because of, basically, it was the epitome of game design. Through simplicity. And I love this. I've said it time and time again when I've talked about a number of things here on this channel, not just video games. But through simplicity, sometimes comes excellence and mastery. And this game is a great illustration of just that. It is a simple fucking game. It really is. Basically, you walk around. If you're in tall grass, you're going to attract wild Pokemon. You're going to want to catch these Pokemon. There's 150 of them in the game. There would end up being 151 technically, but you wouldn't be able to obtain that game unless you hacked the game or you attended one of the special events at that time where they were giving away the Pokemon that was 151, and that was Mew. So, you walk around the grass, you try to catch these Pokemon, and along your way you'll run into other trainers. Use the Pokemon that you caught to battle these trainers. And then you face off against other trainers that are like super trainers, and those are gym leaders. And they have badges. And your goal is to collect all these badges, then make your way to the Indigo Plateau and face off against the Elite Four, so you can become the champion. So this game, it does have a goal. There's some hiccups along the way, such as Team Rocket, which is a bumbling band of bandits They're like an organized crime group. It's kind of like Pokemon's Mafia, I guess you could say. They're there to, do bad things, and they like to use Pokemon for evil ends, and so you face off against them, and you try to, get all these badges. You build a team. You're allowed to carry around 6 Pokemon, which is an interesting number, and people have debated for a long time. Why is it just 6 over time? Why hasn't it grown? I think it would just be crazy to raise more than 6 Pokemon at a time. They had it to, I don't know, it seems like the perfect number. And maybe I'm saying that because it's been this way for 18 years, in the U.S. at least. So they probably didn't want to change it based on that. It's just tradition. You have 6 Pokemon. There's no, 7 and 8 just don't seem right. 5 seems too little, but 6 just seems so perfect, right? It's an even number, so it satisfies all the people at OCD. And you get to have a nice, pretty organized team. There was more types that were introduced over time, but, pretty much in the red version, this is what you're going to want to have most of the time. You're going to want to have a fire Pokemon. You're going to want to have a water one as well, and flying. These are essential. You're also going to want to, and the one thing that pisses me off about this game is there's moves that you can teach Pokemon. Pokemon know moves when you catch them. You can teach them moves with TMs, and they just learn some moves naturally. We all know that Charizard is going to learn Flamethrower, Bulbasaur is going to learn Solar Beam, or Venusaur. So these Pokemon learn these moves, and then you can teach them these other moves called HMs. There's TMs and then there's HMs. And what these HMs do is they enable you to advance throughout the world. And they're probably some of the most annoying moves possible. Now, there's a move like Cut, which is not really a weak move, and it's not really a powerful move, but you got to be able to use this to cut down trees. Now, for some reason, these trees are as big as your avatar that you're moving around the screen, your Pokemon trainer. And I've always hated Cut. It's just, you have to learn this move, and in the red, blue, and yellow versions, you can't forget these moves. Now, that's the great thing about this game. Each Pokemon is limited to 4 moves. If you're going to learn more powerful moves over time. And for me, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I never teach my Pokemon any defensive moves or stat powering moves, because the thing is about that shit is that you waste a turn powering up your Pokemon, and you're going to take a hit. Unless your opponent happens to use another move that doesn't take any damage away from you. I just thought that it was always kind of stupid, unless you were in a really tight spot. Like in the beginning of the game, when you have a weakness to that type of Pokemon, your rival picks the other type that you're weak against. And also, I gotta say, this is very interesting about these games. So I have Pokemon Y now, and not really your rival, but kind of like your competitive friend now. Because your rival thought you were a total dork, but now your competitive friend chooses the Pokemon that has a weakness to yours. And I was like, are they just trying to make this game like way too easy? Or what is it? I don't know. It's like, and I had a friend who was saying this to me, actually as we were walking around Comic-Con. I was buying a lot of Pokemon shit. You said that Pokemon Y is too easy. Or you just said pretty much the later games are too easy. I guess with, the exceptions of like the early gen games. And I haven't gone far enough into the game to really be able to cement that fact. But I just thought it was weird that your rival strategically picks the Pokemon that, the starter Pokemon that you're weak against, but then your competitive friend in the X and Y version picks the one that you actually have an advantage over. Like, I picked the fire type, that little fire cat. I don't remember the name of it, but she picks the grass type. And then you could just, and you already know Ember, so you could just knock the fucking shit out of that thing. So I just thought that it was better to just have a weakness towards it. But anyway, I don't know how I got sidetracked to that part, but back to the HMs that really fucking pissed me off. So, yeah, you're going to learn some moves, and then you've got to teach your Pokemon these HMs, and there's no way around it. Like, you have to learn Surf if you want to get to Cinnabar Island, where there's a gym, and you've got to get there to get the badge and face off against the gym leader, of course. So the thing is, you have to learn these moves. Now, thankfully, a move like Surf is probably a move that you're going to want to teach your Pokemon anyway, your water Pokemon, because it's a pretty fucking powerful move. So Surf is a good move to learn. But like I said, then there's a move like Cut, and then there's a move like Flash. And Flash pisses me the fuck off. I don't want to teach my Pokemon that move. And you have to be able, and you have to teach your Pokemon that move. And what I don't like about that move is it's a really shitty move in battle. Once you teach your Pokemon that move, that's it. You're stuck with that fucking move. And it's really fucking annoying because all Flash does is lower the opponent's accuracy. And this is all I said. I don't like stat-changing moves like this. Unless they put your Pokemon to sleep, paralyze the opponent, or poison them. I'm not a big fan of these types of moves. So like I said, a lot of times you can lower its accuracy. Well, that still means there's some moves that will definitely hit, or they have a very, very accurate chance of hitting. So I don't like those kinds of moves. I'm a very offensive player, and maybe that doesn't really work so much in competitive battling, which I haven't really done that much of. Because I'm only getting back into Pokemon now that you don't need a link cable. I haven't, people have been playing through Wi-Fi now. So I don't really fucking get the idea of those moves, but they're very, very annoying. And the other thing is, like, what if you don't want a flying Pokemon? The reason why I said you're going to want to pick a flying Pokemon is so you can teach them Fly. So you can easily move around the map, which you're going to want to do even if you've completed a town. You're going to want to go back. You're going to go to specific areas where you didn't catch Pokemon before. So it's needless to say that you're going to want to pick a Pokemon with Fly that can learn the HM Fly. Now, I forgot. I was like, oh, you know what? I don't need to raise it. When I get a chance to get that HM, I'm just going to teach it to my Charizard. I forgot that you can't teach Charizard that fucking move. You could in the yellow version. Now, you might be asking yourself, Charizard knows how to fly. He flies all the time in the anime. He's got fucking wings. Why can't you teach him Fly? That was one part of the game that I forgot about. I'll have to admit. And then I figured, Gyarados, he's a flying type. He's a water flying type. I've never seen Gyarados fly in my life, but apparently, I guess in terms of the game, he can, but he can't fucking learn the move. So why is he a flying type? I don't get it. How are they flying types, but they don't know how to learn the move? So I've had to switch around my team multiple times. The other thing that really pisses me off about this game is the fact that with certain Pokemon, you have to trade them in order to get them to evolve. So I had a Kadabra and a Haunter, and they're great by themselves, but you want to take them and get Gengar and Alakazam. And for anybody wondering, Gengar is my favorite Pokemon of all time. He was one of the first that I saw in Nintendo Power when they had the full page spread of it. And I always liked his design. I like the fact that he's a a ghost Pokemon. And I like the way how they made him with the red eyes and the grin. I just always thought it was a very clever design. Like, it was a very interesting design that immediately draws attention to him. You know him because he's really very simple looking compared to some other Pokemon. He doesn't have this grand design like Charizard or Blastoise or some of these other ones, but he just stands out based on just the fact of how they illustrated him. So, I like how he looks, and he's my favorite. But I would love to, get Haunter to be Gengar. I love Haunter, but I want him to become Gengar, and I can't do that without trading with somebody. And finding somebody with the game is a pain in the fucking ass. I really want to fucking play this game, but I can't. And that's really fucking annoying to me. I would love to be able to play this game with Gengar. And you can get a Gengar, but you have to fucking wait until the Diamond and Pearl versions to be able to catch one. And the thing that sucks is, okay, so that means that since you could catch them, you could probably, get a Haunter or a Ghastly and evolve them the old-fashioned way. No, you can't. Because actually it's better to evolve the Pokemon from their previous form, but you can't do that. That's the only way. They waited all the way up to the Diamond and Pearl versions to be able to let you just have Gengar without a trade. It says sometimes you just don't have anybody around to be able to trade with, so that just makes the game really fucking frustrating when you're trying to get specific Pokemon. And they made some of the strongest Pokemon trade only. Alakazam, Gengar, Golem, and I'm kind of forgetting who the fourth one is, but there's one other. Oh, it's Machoke. Transforms into Machamp. So those are your 4 trade-only evolutions. And it really sucks because really all of them are pretty fucking awesome. And, that's the reason why they made them that way, because they're fucking powerful as shit. And especially, I want to, really comment on that. So, people know the thing about the psychic disadvantage in this game. Or the psychic advantage, I should say. Everyone else is at a disadvantage. This game only has 4 stats. Attack, defense, speed, and special. There's no special defense, which they introduced in Generation 2. But because there's no special defense, their special attack is so fucking high, psychic types, that they can pretty much obliterate. Teach a Pokemon Psychic, and you got it made. So even though my Kadabra is, not fully evolved, he owns the fucking shit out of most opponents in the game. Meaning the CPU, of course, but you can knock the shit out of just about anybody with a Kadabra. Or an Alakazam, preferably. So, but it's a pretty fucking, crazy thing that they made that type so much more powerful than all the others. And, they attributed to that, they just, didn't really think it through all the way. But I'm kind of happy they did, because it's pretty fucking awesome to just have that power and you just laugh maniacally as you make everybody's Pokemon faint. So that was pretty awesome, though. I still developed a pretty heavy hitting team, even though I couldn't get the last evolutions of the Pokemon that I wanted. And I had a blast going back to this game. It really is a lot of fun. The red version is just fucking legendary. It's the game that started it all. It truly is. Just all the towns and just everything, you know, going on the SS and the cruise ship and battling the trainers, you know, going to the fucking confusing as shit, what's the name of the islands where you catch Articuno? Twin Islands or some shit like that. Anyway, you go there and, you know, and you're like confused. You gotta push boulders into the water to be able to reach Articuno. There's just a lot of great stuff in this game. And it's a lot of fun playing through it. It really is. You know, if you haven't played in a while, or if you've never played this game before and you played the other generations, people say, oh, there's no need to play this game because it's, you know, it's basically archaic at this point. They've added so many new features. Well, sometimes playing a stripped down version of the game is best. So you can see where, you know, there's like a lot of features in why that, like, you know, like the berries and stuff like that, excuse me, that I just couldn't care less about. I mean, there's just a lot of features that are just in there, I feel, just for the sake of just adding things to the game, and they don't really add anything to the gameplay. Everything in this game needs to really be there when you think about it, except for the fucking HM moves. That shit is fucking bullshit. I feel like if you have a Pokemon that, you know, is able to do things, like if you have a Charizard, there should be no reason to waste a move on them and do cut. Now, people have said, like, why don't you just, you know, withdraw Pokemon from your PC where you store your Pokemon, you know, use the move Fly or Cut, and then just put them back in the PC. That's a fucking pain in the ass. I'm not going to do that. Fuck that. I sacrificed a move. I taught Charizard Cut, which is almost sacrilege. I could have taught him a better move, but it's like, yeah, Cut only has a power rating of 50, and that's fucking unacceptable. If they were going to have you teach these Pokemon moves without being able to unlearn them, they should have made that shit twice as powerful. It should have been like a fucking crazy game. It should have been like a fucking ninja sword or some shit, where it's like, you know, just fucking cuts the Pokemon to shreds. So, but they went with a weak-ass fucking move. That's fucking bullshit. What are the other HM moves in this game? You've got Cut, you've got Flash, you got Fly, Strength. That's a decent one. Strength is not that bad. I ended up teaching Charizard those two moves, because everybody else I had on my team, I couldn't either teach them that move, or, you know, they just had certain moves that went with other moves that are kind of limiting. So, you know, like, for example, my Haunter, he's got to know Hypnosis and he's got to know Dream Eater, because that's the whole point of even having Haunter, is having those two fucking moves. Anyway, I just had a ball with this, and I'm going to be back and I'm going to talk about Pokemon Y, and what I think about it as I get more into the game. So far, I'm enjoying it. I really like the game is like 3D, but it's like a weird type of 3D where it's still not full out 3D. I'll still never understand why the fuck we never got a full out 3D adventure. You know, I love Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness, but they're not really traditional Pokemon games. They're like side games. You don't really get to go around the wild and catch Pokemon. You catch them from, you know, the evil trainers. And, you know, one thing that pissed me off about that game is that you had to save the game and you only had one chance. If you knock that dark Pokemon out, you can never get him back again. So, I didn't like that part of the game. Pretty awesome games, though, I have to say. But you really got to admit that they should have had a fucking 3D game on the home console. You know, they really could have released that on the Wii U and got way more attention than the little fucking knockoff Pokemon Stadium game that they had on there. Yeah, so guys, buy this game. It's only 10 fucking bucks on the on the Nintendo Store, on the 3DS, the virtual shop that they have. It's really a great nostalgic trip. And if you haven't played these games, you're going to really just adore them. Is all I'm going to say. I mean, you won't be able to fucking put them down. These are great fucking games. And, yeah, guys, that's been my retrospective. Hope you enjoyed it. If there's any other games that you would like me to talk about, you know, old school games and my memories of them, and perhaps I've even played them recently, let me know in the comments section. Alright, guys, until next time.